Hello, good people. Welcome back to the Kuhb Games YouTube channel. My name is Evan, and we play goats here. We are here with round 7, the last round of day 1 for the GOAT Format Championship, number 22. We're playing against Ronnie Tsunami. This is a name that I am familiar with. Not sure who this person is, but we're going to be going second. Pretty nice hand here. Obviously, BLS in the opening hand is kind of eh. Usually don't want to see it there because it usually takes a little bit of time for warriors to set it up. But Sea Thunder Dragon likely means Chaos Turbo, so pretty happy about that. Hoping to run the matchup a little bit better than what we did before. But opponent's going to card Destruction here. Lose my Pot of Greed, so not great, but the hand wasn't amazing, so hopefully we draw a bit of a better hand. Opponent is going to show they're discarding Sinister Serpent along with the 2 Thunder Dragons and a Solemn Judgment. So that is a pretty good hand to card Destruction away, though the opponent is losing the Judgment. That's nice to know, and that's good information to have going forward. All right. 4 monsters. 2 of which are Blade Knights. Amazing. Which is exactly what I wanted to see here. Snatch Still's fine. Trap Dust Shoot. Yes. So they get rid of the level 2, but I'm actually not upset to see a Trap Dust Shoot there. Which is kind of odd, but it just gets monsters out of my hand to just hopefully make these Blade Knights big fast. Unfortunately, my opponent's set is a Gravekeeper Spy, so would have loved to have kept that level 2, of course. But it's fine. It's gonna be an uphill battle this game for sure, because our opponent got rid of all of their dead cards and they made our hand much worse. But we'll see what we can do. So opponent does just set a Knight Assailant into the Blade Knight, so I'm just gonna run the Blade Knight right into it. I summon Kaiku here because the opponent's not like showing any back row, and they just have these spies on the board, but they do have a pretty stocked graveyard. So the Kaiku with Solemn Judgment backup, and honestly with Call of the Haunted backup, is actually just hopefully gonna stymie my opponent's development a little bit, sort of keep us in the game because our opponent can't summon out Chaos Monsters. So it does turn off the Blade Knight being able to attack over flip effect monsters profitably, but I think that's I think we're willing to take that. I do duo here. I think maybe I'm supposed to attack first. Yeah, just to make sure that this wasn't the Sinister. So yeah, probably just supposed to attack first. I don't think ripping off the duo right here is quite the play. As you see, the opponent does discard the Sinister Serpent. They also discard a Magician of Faith. So I mean, that's pretty nice. Call of the Haunted's going to hit Exiled Force, and I believe this is going to go after the face down. No, we're just going to go after a spy. Okay, no, that makes a lot of sense here. So the Call of the Haunted for the Exiled Force is going to hit this spy. We're going to Snatch Steal this spy, and then we're just going to try to ride Kaiku to victory here. We also get to summon this other Blade Knight. So this is actually a lot of damage. So if we attack with Spy, we can actually get in for 5,800. Probably a little bit better just to attack him with the Blade Knight over the monster. Just, well, is it? Outside of the Spy's opponent doesn't really have anything. I guess it is just a little safer to attack him with the Blade Knight. 5,800 versus 5,000. Yeah, it's just safer to attack him with the Blade Knight there. Opponent does get Tsukuyomi, which looks pretty good here. It can kill all of these except for Spy, of course. Do take out the Knight Assailant and the Sinister Serpent. I like that. Leaving my opponent with 2 darks that we can hopefully clean up on the next turn with Kaiku. Opponent is down to 3,000. They are facing down, quite a board position. Somehow we turned a terrible hand into this. My opponent summons Tsukuyomi, and I just snap off the Solemn Judgment. I don't think I even sat there and thought about it at all. Just snapped it off because I know I thought about it a little bit on my opponent's turn. I'm like, we're snapping, we're just flipping this. I'm not losing to a Chaos Monster here. This is my only shot at winning the game. So, Solemn Judgment hits the Tsukuyomi. Opponent shuffles their hand, set a back row, and pass. I draw Sasuke. We're attacking. Are you dead? Do you have a Mirror Force? It has to be exactly Mirror Force here. Well, Blade Knight gets through, so it's not a Mirror Force. Somehow, we stole that game. I don't know. Opponent had Sinister with double Thunder Dragon card destruction. They made our hand so much worse. Got rid of our Pot of Greed, got rid of our BLS, and gave us a 4-monster hand, and we were able to take it. So I think that's just another case of play into your outs. And that out there was just be aggressive and hope the opponent doesn't have anything to say about it. Don't let your opponent have all the time in the world to sit there and evolve their game plan. So siding like we normally do against Turbo. Bringing in sort of the conversion-ish package. Like this hand, Rhoda, obviously very good at getting things to disrupt chaos. We have a Spy for some good value, some traps. I love having Solemn Judgment here, and of course Graceful Charity is Graceful Charity. Opponent has Duo again. That's fine. We get rid of Rhoda, and of course they chose the Sakuretsu. So Sakuretsu Armor is the worst card in hand. I figure here we can get rid of the Rhoda because the Spy is going to help us sort of gain card advantage back. Solemn Judgment's going to help, try to just keep everything stabilized, and it's like my one answer card that I have. And then of course Graceful Charity is just Graceful Charity, so we're going to hold on. We're going to hold on to that for now. We see Tribe. We could throw off the Graceful Charity here, but I actually kind of like Tribe sort of as a follow-up play. But we are just going to play it, and I think the thought process here is we can hit heavy, which is probably not going to get a plus against Chaos Turbo, but it might, be a 1-for-1, and we're getting rid of, sort of 2 cards-ish from the opponent. So I don't hate that, and if we do get lucky, we could get a plus off of it. And that would be very nice to help us, come back from this Delinquent Duo. We could also draw into Nobleman of Crossout, which would be nice. Or we could draw into our level 2 or our Exiled Force, something like that. So don't hate it. We're going to get rid of the Tribe and get rid of the Brain Control here. We don't really need the Brain Control since we have the Gravekeeper Spy. I figured maybe we don't need the Tribe either because we have the 2 Solemn Judgments. So rather than sort of taking care of the opponent's board retroactively after they've already put everything out, we can just stop everything from hitting the board in the first place. So I like that. Hopefully this Gravekeeper Spy lives, and we can just slam this as a Borg. Opponent is going to ditch Thunder Dragon there. They do Dust Tornado one of our Solemn Judgments on the end step, but that's not really a big deal. Opponent really only has 4 real cards here. So pretty happy about this. Draw Sasuke. I'm going to flip up the Spy. Get another Spy. Go into Zaborg. Now, kind of choose one at random. Opponent doesn't negate. I choose the Night Assailant, which actually ends up being correct. Zaborg attacks into Spy. My opponent chose no other Spy, so I'm like, my opponent has to have Spy, Thunder Dragon in hand, which is terrible. Because I have a Zaborg. They don't have a third Spy for some reason. And clearly this back row is not doing anything. So the Solemn Judgment with this board with a Sasuke is going to go hard. Very, very happy with how things are right now. So opponent's going to flip the Jar of Greed. That's fine. We still know three cards in hand are just trash, which means this Tribe Infecting Virus is a very prime Solemn Judgment target. They're going to go ahead and activate, but no, we're going to Solemn Judgment that. My opponent could follow up with a Chaos Monster, but it would have to be their last card in hand. So pretty okay with this play. If they have a Chaos Monster, they have a Chaos Monster. We probably lose unless we draw an answer to it immediately. But I think using the Solemn Judgment there just makes way too much sense. We're showing, was it 36, 5400? If we draw a Ring of Destruction, we're showing lethal. Yeah, Blade Knight doesn't get there, so we're not going to push through like lethal damage on the next turn, but we're going to be very close. And this just keeps our opponent from wiping our entire board by using cards that are absolutely useless in their hand, and we just know they're useless. So draw Call of the Haunted, which actually isn't the worst here. It is a tribe, so now if my opponent has a Chaos Monster, we have an out to it, and we'll just be able to totally take him out here. So, attacking with the team. Take our opponent down to 400 life points. Set the Call of the Haunted. My opponent has to have, like... I don't think they actually have an out here. I guess, like, their last card could have been an MST or a Heavy Storm. They could take out my Call of the Haunted and then summon a BLS. I think that was really their own out. Their only out. They just had to have an answer to both of those cards. Opponent does not, and we are able to just sort of savagely beat down Chaos Turbo, which you love to see it, but that makes us 5-2. We are one of 22 duelists moving into day 2. Unfortunately, the breaker's not looking so great right now, but still have 2 more rounds of Swiss. And, you know, things can happen, breakers can change. But, yeah, that's round 7. That's day 1 of GFC 22. I will see you all for round 8.